All right, so now we're recording.
Excellent.
So this is a topic meeting. This is where we start after I invite somebody to do a guest episode on RubyTapas, and so let's see. Have you watched the show before?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So you know that it's like short episodes. I try to do like one idea at a time.
Mhm.
And I find they boil down, like writing. It all starts with a script, and I find the scripts boil down to about like a typical blog post length. Like that makes for a good 5-minute video.
Gotcha.
And like what I shoot for, like one of the things I like to start with is, I like to know what you're excited about right now. What you're interested in. It's not like specifically Ruby technical necessarily. Like I define the subject matter of the show as anything that's of use to working Ruby programmers, which is kind of a broad range of things.
It is.
And what I love to ask is, like, if you had to do a lightning talk in the next 2 weeks, what would it be about?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm trying to remember what I saw you. Let's see. When I last saw you speak, it was Southeast Ruby, and let me see if I can. Let's see, what was the topic?
It was talking about how to trap bad users onto your website and basically degrade their experience.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And so now that we're through the Hamilton on sale, like that actually has happened, and it's very, very worthwhile. It worked out well. It was great because, like our Hamilton on sale went really well. And then the next week, Orlando went, and there's like crash and burned like really bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really badly. So like that could have been us, but it was
not.
Wow.
So. So nailed it.
Yeah, pretty much. So that was good. But basically, like what I spend a lot of my time doing is trying to optimize. So we're connected to a very old style API. And so my life is basically trying to scale Rails in order to optimize the performance of that API. So we're starting to look into like how we can do better with like a serverless implementation. But we're just at the very beginnings of that. And so one thing that I'm very excited about is that you probably heard that AWS is now supporting Ruby.
Ruby,
Lambda,
yes.
which is so exciting. And so
Lambda.
There's that new framework, Ruby on Jets. I'm going to have that guy on the podcast next week. So it's an entire framework using AWS Lambda. It's supposed to be like a quote unquote Ruby on Rails replacement.
Interesting.
Using serverless. So if I were to give a lightning talk in the next 2 weeks, I would probably really try to understand that and then give a lightning talk on that. I find the whole serverless topic like very interesting.
Yeah. This is like perfect timing.
Yeah, it really is. It was really good timing. And then the other thing that I'm very like fixated on right now is I'm trying to cut my API from this very old SOAP API to a REST API. And so just how to do that in an eloquent way and making sure that I'm delivering the correct response back to the front end is something that I'm very fixated on as well. So,
okay.
Yeah, not a sexy topic, but something that I very focused on, and trying to just send as much as I can to background jobs as possible is something that I'm really fixated on as well. So,
interesting. Yeah. Like I'm actually really interested. I'm interested in both of those. And I kind of want to talk about both of those because like I actually think that the like scaling funky APIs is a really, really interesting topic. I've been doing this talk called No Code. That's about, it's not actually about that, but one of the points that I try to make in it, that I've recently started trying to make in it, is the idea that like the sort of dichotomy between glue coders and real coders is ridiculous because like everything is glue code.
Yes, it is. It's absolutely all glue code. It's just trying to get one service to talk to another. Absolutely.
Yeah, like back when I was doing embedded assembly code on custom hardware for air traffic control systems, what was it doing? It was taking tracks from one system and then munging them a little and then passing them on to another system. It was glue code.
Exactly. That's awesome. No, it's a very good point. I'll have to look that talk up. Is it recorded out there?
The version where I talk about glue code is not up there yet because I just did that in Australia.
Oh, yeah. Are you in Australia or you're home?
I am not in Australia. I am currently in jet lag
Oh,
in Tennessee.
oh man. Well, welcome back home.
Thank you.
How was your
Uh,
trip?
it was fantastic.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. So, okay. So basically out of those topics, which one do you think would be the most worthwhile, like going down towards?
Boy. Okay. So I think that the serverless topic would be like a great way to like get ahead of the curve.
Hmm.
Um, and especially for the Ruby world. And that one would be like it's easy to define the scope of that one. Like it's pretty easy
Yes.
to say, okay, let's just do an introductory, serverless thing.
Okay.
So that one's easy to define. On the flip side, with with the kind of service scaling stuff you're talking about, I bet there's some really meaty stuff in there as well.
Hmm.
But we'd have to, I think, narrow it down to like one specific technique that you found interesting and useful, because obviously, like that's a big topic.
It is. I'm actually thinking now that you've like put it in that way, probably the serverless way is the way to go.
Hmm.
And what I'm going to be doing over the next like couple weeks is taking some things that we have like as a cron job, running on servers and converting them into
Hmm.
a serverless thing. And so I think that in itself, just being like, here's this cron job, it's a Ruby thing that runs, and like this is how we converted it into like a serverless implementation. That probably would be interesting.
I
Is that
think it really would be.
okay? I could do
I think
that.
it'd be super interesting.
Yeah, and there's even we maintain 5 applications at the trust, and
Hmm.
one of them is really dumb. It's like basically a static page that pulls information from an API, and so I have a goal to convert that into a serverless website. And so that one, again, it's very plain. It's very like scaffold looking, and so that one, yeah, would be a really good candidate for as well if I don't do the cron job one. So
Hmm.
either way, I'll definitely have a real time implementation.
Perfect.
Okay, that works.
Perfect. So, then in that case, we have a topic. I'm happy with it. You sound happy with it.
Yeah,
So we
totally.
have a topic. So all I'll do now is I'll just tell you a little bit about what happens next.
Cool.
Um, you either have received, or will receive an invitation to an Asana project.
Hmm.
Um, that is how we do all our organization. Um, and let me see if your project is already prepped here. You'll receive
I
the main
have
things.
Dropbox, but I haven't gotten a.
Okay, all right. Let me see if it exists on my side. Okay, it doesn't exist on my side yet. Let me find. Let me find a recent one and then just share my screen with you, just so I can give you an idea of what this is going to look like. Um, all right, I am going to share this one with you. All right, let me know if you can see my screen.
It says it started, but I'm waiting for it to actually share.
Yeah,
I just
I'm on this tiny
there we
little
go.
DSL.
Got
Okay, so this is just the project that I happen to be looking at this moment. This is Tim Riley's,
it. Oh,
uh,
great.
but he's been talking about ROM. Um, so you're going to receive an invitation to one of these Asana projects. The first view of Asana you'll see is just like a task list. But the best thing to do is to just jump into the actual, like if you'll see on these tasks, there's a link to the project,
Okay.
and just like go to the project itself, because um, otherwise it's confusing just seeing the list of tasks that are assigned to you. So we break we've got a pretty like defined process at this point. We break the projects down into some like broad categories at the top level. And so there's like series inception over here, and then like these are all done for this project. Um, then you'll see like chef support over here. There will be a few tasks that get assigned to you in this chef support section.
Okay.
And the main thing to note that I'd like to draw attention to is that like some of these tasks. So here's a subtask that I have the mouse over right here. And if you click on this like notes and comments thing, there's a bunch of stuff in here.
Oh, okay.
So that's the main thing to notice. Like some of these tasks are purely familiarization. They're just like read the stuff and then check it done.
Got it.
Um, and but yeah, most of the tasks, like I went through a while back and I just like wrote a book in these different subtasks just to like explain the process so that it's very clear. So you're gonna there's going to be a few like little housekeeping tasks like putting your bio in and stuff like that, but the main one is under script writing. We're doing this one right now. Start thinking about topic ideas and discuss the topic ideas. I'll be checking that off. But then there's drafting the script, and there's a bunch of information about script drafting in there.
Okay.
There's also in the Dropbox that got shared with you, there is a starter script there. It's got a bunch of like examples of how we tend to lay them out. It's basically writing a blog post. But matter of fact, I actually have a script. Let me reshare my screen. I was just doing a script review with somebody who's coming up. So here's like a sneak peek at a episode about binding.pry.
Oh, that's exciting. I use binding.pry quite a lot.
Yeah. And so you'll see there's like a whole example in that directory. But I mean, the basic idea here is that it's like a blog post written markdown. The difference is we annotate it with shots, and shots are what tie everything together. Shots give us a nice granular idea of exactly where the video should be as we're talking about it. And that's what kind of makes the episodes as tight as they are, because it makes sure that like when we're saying, let's define a method named foo, and that is exactly what's happening on the screen. And and with the shots, we're able to like tie that all together without a lot of tedious editing, because we actually shoot the footage as like shot 1, shot 2, shot 3. So then the rough cut editor is able to just go through, pull all those shots, and then sync them up to the voiceover really, really easily.
Gotcha. Who's actually doing the shooting though?
So it depends on the episode. I have a screen typist named Federico that does the shots for a lot of these. If they're relatively simple, don't take a lot of setup. This may be one of the rare cases where it makes more sense for you to do to do it, simply because you're going to be like I assume you're going to be deploying to Amazon Lambda.
Yeah.
And so that's one of those things where you're going to have an actual environment set up.
Right.
And so I think for this one, we're probably going to have you do that.
Okay, that sounds good.
But yeah, so the main thing at this point, it's like you write it out as, you script out as like, as you would write a blog post about it, including like periodic code listings. And then you can either do the shot breakdown as you do it, or you can just come through later and do the shot breakdown. And it's also something that I'll help you with. And then once you have a draft that you like together, a little later on, Robin will schedule a script review, and then we'll just go over it together.
Sounds great.
Cool. Any questions?
It sounds like I need Dropbox and I need Asana. Mm-hmm. That's everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything else kind of flows from there.
Okay, great. And I think I'm scheduled for April.
Okay.
Cool. So it sounds like I have plenty of time. Mm-hmm. I just have to be careful because AWS changes quite a bit. And so I'll need to make sure that the video I actually record is still relevant by the time the episode comes out. So I will be on top of that.
Cool.
Great. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you so much. I'm seriously honored to be doing this, and I'm super excited about it.
Well, I am super thrilled to have you on, and I love the topic, and I'm stoked.
Yay! Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Avdi. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will catch you on the Facebooks.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great
Bye, Avdi.
Great. Bye.